did your dad actually drown in his own pish?
No, no, he did not.
Now, I think
But
there's the most controversial take that we will take away from this. But when we show the people that we know about this, that is going to be the mic drop revelation. Now, something else I've got to ask, because we've mentioned a couple of the songs, so I need to ask this: is there going to be a parody album? Scotty Too Hotty, pleasure to see you, man. How you been?
you too, mate. I'm good, mate. How's you?
Aye, one day at a time, as they say, one day at a
That's
time.
it, man. That is it. Yeah, I'm doing good. Excited to be here. Thank you for having me on.
I'm glad to have you on, buddy. Well, you did warn me before you came online that could potentially be a cat bomb, so let's get the special guest out the way. If she's
She
kicking about.
has. She's moved over to a favourite spot by the window, so we probably won't see her now. To be fair, but if she does pop in, Molly will be saying hello.
Yes, well, we always like to have extra guests on here, or just any general patter or any bants that come in. But
Sound man.
enough about my bollocks. We're here to talk about like your bollocks, or as we say in polite terms, your origin story. One thing we all have in common in here is that we all have an origin. So, Scott, for my followers, please tell us your origin story.
So, I mean, where do you start from the start? I guess.
Yeah, where you're born
Uh,
is usually where we start with.
yeah. So, born in Glasgow, still in Glasgow. Grew up in a wee village called Milton of Campsie, which most people haven't heard of. Tiny wee place. Ideal as a child, fields round about, loads of stuff to kind of run about and do. And I was there till I was about 18, and then moved up to the next town along, Lennoxtown, which is just up the road, about a mile up the road.
Right now, I've got to ask that because, like, where I'm from, like, even just moving to the next town over, it's a massive shit show because Airdrie, Rangerstown, Coatbridge, Celtic Town. Moving from one to the other, it's like you've stabbed some member of royalty. Was it a similar kind of thing where you'd migrate in towns, or were they pretty cool
It
with it?
was actually all right. Most of my friends from school and people I grew up with were from that area as well. Part of the reason we moved, my dad actually passed away when I was 15,
Wow.
unexpectedly. He worked abroad.
Hmm.
At the time, he was an engineer and he had to get work abroad in the Netherlands. And freak accident, fell down the stairs, ended up in a coma. Nothing they could really do. So my mum had to make the decision to kind of turn off the life support kind of thing. So that was when I was about 15. And then I think obviously just with everything that kind of comes along with that bereavement and my mum had health issues of her own with her knees and her hips at the time.
Hmm.
So couldn't do stairs. So we actually had to move to a smaller, like 4 in a block kind of property with no stairs. And we chose Lennoxtown because we knew a lot of the people around about there. Like my sister stayed up there for a while. My brother still stays there. So the actual move itself for me and my mum at the time was relatively straightforward and
Hmm.
because we knew people. I've never really been a big football man. And in the days, the kind of 1 year, maybe two, where I did follow football, I supported Rangers because
Hmm.
my dad supported Rangers. But it's a very mixed kind of place. There's no real one or the other in that kind of area. And everybody kind of mixed quite amicably. So yeah, in that kind of respect, the move was all right. Actually, it was actually quite a nice move. As I say, we knew everybody, plenty of people round about. So yeah, I think it was the right thing at the time, And Milton Campsie, being a small village, there's not a lot to do. Even in Lennoxtown, it's bigger, but it's a small town. There's not really much about. So yeah, I think being 18 at the time when we moved, it was probably a step that was going to happen anyway, just to kind of
Hmm.
get out and spread your wings a wee bit, I guess.
Thank you for like sharing that about your dad. I know
No, that's all right, man.
that type of stuff to share is difficult. But to bring a bit of
Aye.
levity back to it, did your dad actually drown in his own pish?
No, no, he did not.
Now, now there is a
He...
reason why I've asked that. And it's because for people who always want to know how this ginger comes into people's lives, Scott and I met through doing an ultra comedy course, doing stand up comedy. That's what we do. And
yeah,
Scott is a very, very talented singer, songwriter,
thank you.
especially with parody songs. One of the
Yeah,
songs, which we'll get to in a minute, is his most famous one. But one he wrote about is the lovely, enchanting tale of how everyone we know will eventually snuff it. And one of the lines that he does sing about is that his dad drowned in his own pish. Uh,
Yes.
Now, as you know, with comedy, sometimes we embellish a little bit, but
Oh
sometimes
yeah,
it can be
yeah.
very real. And second, you mentioned your dad did pass away. I was like, okay, he fell down the stairs. I remember mentioning him falling and drowning in his own pish. We just have to make sure the two and two don't equal, five.
No. I think, as you know, comedy's very much embellished from most of the time a grain of truth. So we take that, we kind of take that grain of truth and run with that and see where it takes us. So yeah, the song you're referring to, it's been kind of lovingly titled from other people, the death song. I actually named it Pushing Up the Daisies because that's part of the kind of chorus. That's one of the lines in
Hmm.
the chorus. But it's very, very lovingly just been, oh, you singing a death song tonight. And I run with that because it is about that. And it's kind of, I guess I used it. I wrote it very much with my mum and dad in mind. But no, my dad in the song, I say my daddy was a drinker. He was a drinker. He liked going to the pub and liked going to spending time with his pals in the pub.
Yeah.
But he did not drown in his own pish. No, that was very much put in for comedic effect, and it seems to hit the mark every time. People seem to
Yeah.
like the line,
Well,
and I enjoy the song. It was hard to tell how it was going to be
yeah.
received at first. When you're kind of putting death out there as a subject in a comedy song.
Mm.
But it's been received very well. People seem to like it, and I really enjoy singing it.
Yeah. And it's the fact that you have comedy turns nailed, my friend. And the
Yeah,
way that you always start it is you talk about, a nice little song about life and all that kind of stuff. And then the first line is everyone in the world is going to die.
yes,
It takes so many people aback, but we also know because of how you've done the setup, the levity is there. And the,
aye.
and the fact you also end with that live, laugh, love line, it kills every single time. I got to ask, just for my own process, was that off the cuff or did you have that planned?
That was very much off the cuff. The all I had written down when I was doing the kind of like outro part, all I had written down was like freestyle some lyrics or just ad lib was pretty much what I'd put in my notes when I wrote it. And the live laugh love just came out one day and got a big laugh.
Hmm.
And I thought that's got to stay in. It's got to stay in. It just kind of sums it up. Yeah, the song itself I deliberately wrote with quite upbeat kind of chords and it's very much not in a kind of minor key or anything to kind of offset that darkness almost, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, the end bit was it's very much ad libbed every time
Mm.
with that live laugh love now set in there.
It is indeed. And the song that we do you from for the first time that we got into Ultra and we talked about why we were doing comedy, things like that. The song that just blew us all away was the Pie song.
That pie
Now,
song.
for everybody that will be watching, please enlighten on the Pie song.
Just an idea that came to me. I've played guitar for a while now. Probably since I was a teenager, I've messed about with guitar. I'm by no means a professional. I'm by no means technically gifted, but I can play a load of chords. I can string them together, and it's very much just been a hobby, just in the house, a hobby kind of thing. And it wasn't really a plan to do a comedy song for Ultra. Initially, I was going to try and write some stuff, but I had an idea. Wouldn't it just be funny to sing a song about somebody that just loves pies, but not just loves eating pies, like is madly in love with pies themselves? And it just kind of came to me quite quickly, to be honest. I was thinking of a love song. How can I make that funny? Well, let's be in love with an inanimate object of some sort. What the I don't know if it kind of ruins the magic or anything. I'm not a major fan of pies, to be honest. I'm not like,
I think
but
there's the most controversial take that we will take away from this when
I
we
do
show
enjoy a pie as much as the
yeah.
next man.
But when we show the people that we know about this, that is going to be the mic drop
It
revelation, my
might be.
friend.
It might be. Yeah, it just, as I say, it very much came to me quite quickly, and I just found it funny. I just thought it would be really funny if I just tried to put a lot of that emotion into it, and the guy just absolutely loves pies, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's just one of those things
Yep.
that I thought would be hilarious. And it's taken off really well. It's became a
Mm-hmm.
kind of staple kind of thing that I've done. I get requests for it now, which has been good. And people seem to always, I really liked your song about pies, and that's brilliant. That's all you can
Yep.
ask for.
Very true. And you know it from kind of treading the boards like I do. Like you always need to have that unique selling point. Like sadly, you do it everything these days now. No matter
Aye.
what line you work in, the USP is driven home constantly. But you have yours. You have yours in pie form, but also
Yeah.
just in general, like song form. And
Yeah.
I think you need to give yourself a little bit more credit too, because music's tough. Like
Oh,
I
aye.
I what did as far as like standard grade. I could have went further, but at that point I was burnt out. I was like, no, no chance. But the most I could play was a keyboard and a xylophone.
Yeah.
But so I always wanted to try and do guitar, but like I just my fingers are like baby veal. Like there's no chance like that I could do that. So the fact that you're able to like pick up a guitar, like just sit one day and just like strum away, that could work for a song about pies. That could work with a song about death.
Aye.
It's a great skill to have. A lot of
Thank you, mate.
people,
Thank you.
a lot of people that I know, like if we go to support, I go to support groups and stuff like that for mental health. One of the questions that sometimes get asked, what's one thing that you wish you could do but can't? The amount of people that say play guitar is mind blowing.
I think learning an instrument is one of some sort. I say it's nice now doing the comedy for just over a year now.
Mm.
It's nice to be able to put focus into it and say it's very much been a hobby. I've picked up books. I've never had any lessons or anything. I've literally just learned from books and kind of online and stuff. So it's nice to be able to put a bit of focus in that and use that and have it appreciated is amazing. You know, it's really nice to have people kind of get it
Mm.
and kind of come on board with it and use that as a skill on the stage. You know, I find it very not easy. If the song comes to me, great. I'll generally put chords together and think that sounds really nice, and then I'll try and think of something funny and some lines that I can maybe link together
Mm.
to
Right.
create something.
Just because YouTube's being a get right now, when he talks about lines linking together, it's not that. It's
Right?
chord.
No, definitely not.
Just because we've had YouTube is being a get with everything getting censored. Like you've seen all that kind of stuff yourself. The second that anything gets hinted to drug
Aye.
paraphernalia, it's like which is ironic, the hints of it, no. But if you went, so I was snorting a line of coke, right? Nothing, nothing. I,
Aye.
I
That
think
passes
YouTube
it.
has figured it out. It can't understand Scottish.
And that's probably going to be Scotland for forever. I think it'll never. That's how we will be safe from AI and everything else because it will never understand us.
Right, so we've covered sectarianism, we've covered cocaine, we've covered AI, and ironically, the last one will probably get us the most death threats. Well, I've had at least 4 just on death threats on AI alone. 6
Oh,
for calling Thomas the Tank Engine a ball bag.
it's unbelievable, man. It's
Welcome to
funny,
my world, my
absolutely.
friends. Welcome.
Aye, it's unbelievable. That is kind of what we're dealing with now, and you as well. Like you'll remember times kind of before AI was even like a kind of hint, but it's all coming in now, and
Mm,
it's very much a heated debate. And you know, I don't really know where I stand. I'm not informed enough to know where I stand one way or the other. I guess
mm,
there's a place for everything.
yeah.
I guess we don't really have much choice about it in some
Mm-hmm.
ways as well. So we've got to kind of roll with it in some ways.
Because I class you as a singer songwriter. You might not say that you are, but I class you as a
No,
singer songwriter and a damn good one at that.
thank
But
you, mate.
I can sing a little. I can write stuff. Music composition, I'm shite.
Aye.
But I've used AI tools to try and help me come up with songs, like just to
Oh
get
yeah, yeah.
old poems out, old songs out, things like that. And when we were talking about how you put a light spin on something that's very negative, like my dad, he listens to some of my stuff and he's like, "That's fucking depressing, mate. Like, what can you write something else?" And then
Aye.
I've taken the same lyrics and put them to like something that's got a bit more of a dance poppy upbeat tune. I really
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
song. That was class. I'm like,
Aye, aye.
fuck off, man. It just
That's
shows you the perception.
that's music psychology right there, man. That
Yeah.
is exactly that. That's the psychology of sound right there.
Well, but we
Which
talked
is
about
aye.
like we'll get into the ultra comedy stuff now, because that was how we met.
Okay.
As hopefully, if any of the other guys see this and go, Andrew hasn't grilled him too much, like he might actually be all right to talk to. Right? What made you decide to do the ultra comedy course?
My mother had passed away roughly. We did Ultra, what, about a year and a bit ago?
What? So
June
it was
2024. My mother had passed away in the January of 2023. Obviously, it's a big thing that happened. It's something that, again, was unexpected. She wasn't particularly unwell. Complications due to her diabetes. She ended up passing away. And yeah, it was, and still is, absolutely devastating for anyone that goes through something like that. You can't really describe it.
yeah.
It's just one of those things. Luckily, I had family and I had my partner Lindsay with me, and friends that were round about. And without them, it would have been a very different story. I wasn't enjoying my job at the time either. I kind of made a decision, probably partly because of that I didn't really want to carry on. I was in management, like hospitality management, so I was managing cafes and stuff like that, and I was like a relief manager for a small franchise kind of cafe,
Mm.
and I had been doing hospitality management for years. I've been in the industry for over 20 years now. I still do it part time, not as
Mm.
management,
Yeah.
in a very nice place. But when my mother had passed away, I decided I don't really want to do this anymore. This isn't
Yeah.
what I want to do. I get a bit fed up with the world. I get a bit fed up with humanity in general. I got a wee bit lost in what I was wanting to do, which I think is natural under the circumstances. I had then started thinking about other jobs. I wanted to just get out and do things that I hadn't done before. Just little things, because I'd spent a long time just working, really. And I felt that that's all I'd done for years, was just work, go home, work, go home, work, go home. So I decided to go to a comedy show. Now, I'd never been to a stand-up comedy show before, not a local one. So I'd been to one stand-up show, actually. I tell a lie, I'd been to one stand-up show with Lindsay. It was Bill Bailey in the Hydro,
Good
and
choice.
that was one big show that we'd been to, and it was great. And I then went to a local comedy show in Blackfriars in Glasgow,
Mm.
and just thought it was great. It was the first time I felt that I had just didn't have to worry about stuff. I just laughed. People just went up on stage and entertained everybody, and people laughed. There was no effort to it. It felt effortless. They just got up and they made people laugh, and you just sat and be entertained. And that was great. So we went to a few of those more, and I don't know, Facebook listens to what you're doing in your life. So Ultra Comedy flashed up as an advert,
Mm.
and I thought, why not? It was literally a kind of why not moment. What have I got
Yeah.
to lose? We raise a bit of money for charity. We get some training from a professional, get to meet some like-minded people. Everybody will have a good laugh, and then we'll all go on our merry ways.
Mm.
And that's kind of where Ultra came from, was just that desire to do something different and kind of take myself out of my comfort zone a wee bit and see if I could do it. And yeah, as you know, it was a very big success.
Mm-hmm.
I think for everybody that took part in it, we raised a shed ton of money. I think we were one of the biggest, certainly in Scotland, that had raised money.
Yep.
The total we had was something great, 14,000 or something. I think we
12.5 grand
12 and a half. There you
that we
go.
raised. But not to
Which
blow our
is,
trumpets, but yeah, get those trumpets out, because we feckin'
I
deserve
mean,
one.
it was incredible. So just
Yeah.
a great feeling. So when I was in school, uh, I wanted to be an actor when I was a teenager. That's what I decided I wanted to do, because I'd done a production of Oliver at the end of primary school, and was
Oh,
Bill Sykes.
now we're getting in this. We're getting in this.
So
So Bill
I
Sykes.
was I played Bill Sykes and Oliver,
I played
and
Bill Sykes and Fagin twice.
did you? Nice.
Yeah, but
So
I didn't do
I
it in
liked
school. I
playing.
was out with. I was in a theatre company at the time. But now,
Aye.
This makes so much sense for me now with where you're coming
Aye.
from and stuff. You're a fellow thespian, and I said thespian
So
before
I
YouTube
think
gets
I've
me.
always had a kind of desire to be artistic in some way. That or just to be unemployed for the rest of my life. It was one of those kind of, I'm going to choose a career where I won't earn much money, you know. I'll work really hard and earn no money, but it was always fun. So when I was really young, I wanted to be a cartoonist because I liked drawing cartoons.
Oh
Then I
man.
played Bill Sykes and Oliver, and I liked playing Bill Sykes because it was the only role in the show where there was no singing part. I just
Oh,
got to
you
go on.
got the abridged version then.
I just got to go on and look. Everybody else had a second part in it,
Mm,
but Bill Sykes just got to go on and look mean and tough
yeah.
and do his thing.
Well, the truth is, he
And
does have a song.
yes,
Well, he does have a song, but I was like you as well, like because I played Bill Sykes one night and then I was playing Fagin the next night, and
right,
I somehow managed to convince the director. Well, because I went on tried to sing it, and I can hold the tune, but like getting the menacing part of it, I just wasn't working with the song.
right,
But he knew that I could do a good job singing because I was doing Fagin and I was all right with it.
aye,
But it was like it takes away from you being like that kind of really serious baddie because you're such a nice person in real life
aye.
that when you see this bit, it kind of takes the illusion of it. So try not singing it and just go on and look like a bastard. It's his exact words. I was only 17. So I went and I done that and yeah, I managed to get it. But did you have to do the slap scene?
Yes, I do remember this was God. I would have only
Mm,
been 11 years old or something, maybe.
hmm
I remember, yeah, there was a slap scene. I remember, obviously, in the movie and stuff, he's got a dog. Well, I didn't
Yeah.
have a dog or even a fake dog. I just had to pretend like I was holding like a lead or a leash for a dog and walk about with this like invisible dog,
I'm just
which I
picturing
remember
you like
really well.
maybe those dads in Blackpool with the invisible dog leash.
Yeah, but I didn't even have the leash. There was just nothing there. I just had to walk it as if I was dragging this dog about. And I loved it. It was so much fun. So
Mm,
from that day, I thought I'm going to be an actor. That's what I'm going to do now.
mm.
So did drama and like standard grade and stuff like that. I actually went to college to study drama and hated it.
Well, obviously I've done like the college one. I got through it second time, but because first
Yeah,
time it wasn't the college that broke me, it was something else. But I got through the second time. But I understand what kind of people sometimes it's a sink or swim environment. How did you feel when you
aye.
went into the college? Was it just like this isn't fun anymore because there's like writing involved or
It was
what?
okay. It was just more. I wanted to just go in and act, but there was very much a lot of focus on musical theatre and dance. And I think being a 17-year-old at the time, I just wasn't really into that kind of part of it.
Mm,
I very much wanted to go and get some like hard hitting gritty roles and
yeah.
just be like or do funny stuff. I remember doing a wee sketch thing in college that I really enjoyed, a wee kind of comedy sketch thing that we did.
Mm.
But I only lasted maybe 3 4 months, and I just wasn't into it. I kind of
Just what you were
pulled
talking
away
about
from it.
there. What just because what this is kind of what happens to me. My brain's like it's like the squirrel effect. It
Aye,
just runs for it. But you mentioned there about there felt like there was more of a push towards like the singing and the dancing part of it. Now we had the same at our college. What college was it you went to study?
it was actually the College of Nautical Studies in Glasgow. I don't know if it's
Wow.
still there, but they had a drama course that I
Yeah.
auditioned for, and I got into it. And I
Uh,
wanted to go to the RSAMD. That was the kind of plan, was to go through college first, because I left school after standard grades.
mm,
Thought I'll just go to college. I kind of know what I want to do. So,
mm,
but I obviously didn't. It didn't all work out in the end. And I
mm.
think that was just the thing. Obviously, the musical theatre. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like all that stuff now, but and I get that that's a part of it. But I think just at the time I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of fell away from it, and then I ended up.
Yeah.
By the time I was 18, I'd got a job in a pub, and I absolutely loved it. I just
Mm,
loved the environment. I loved working. They were giving me loads of hours. I was earning good money, and I just thought this is great. And
hmm
that's how I got into hospitality. Was actually that first job in the pub,
Oh wow.
and I just kind of ran with that. I ended up just kind of focusing on work a lot more,
Yeah. Have you ever
and
thought about
kind of
going back? Like, because well, it's now the Conservatoire. They couldn't pick them a more poncy name if they fucking tried. Well, our SEMD was a struggle. Royal Conservatoire of Scotland.
I know
I'm like, oh, fuck off. Well,
it's getting a bit
well,
pretentious,
I do,
isn't it?
but they do like evening courses as well. Like, for like ones that maybe haven't, well, I like it, but didn't like the other parts around it. What have you ever thought about
Right,
trying to
aye.
go to like an evening course? Maybe get the accent
It's
bug
not
back.
something I've really thought about, to be honest. No, I think I probably wouldn't go back and study unless, I don't know, if something came up. I've never really thought about it, to be honest.
Hmm.
Um, Now that kind of stand up and comedies became a thing and there's avenues to go down from that, I
Hmm.
think that's where I'd like to kind of keep my focus just now. I mean, never say never. Do you know what I mean? If the opportunity came up and it was right,
Hmm.
then yeah, but it's not something I've actually considered, to be fair.
Now, something else I've got
Um,
to ask because we've mentioned like, a couple of the songs, so I need to ask this: is there going to be a parody album?
that again is not something I've thought about. My plan is to write more songs. I would like to write enough for an album, but I would like to write enough for a kind of musical show first. I
Hmm.
think I would like to try that out and actually put on a kind of musical show. Whether that involves acting like an actual like musical theatre production kind of thing, I
Hmm.
don't know. But I would like to try and put on some sort of musical show, potentially for next year. I think probably a couple of years down the line by the time I get something together. But again, never say never. If it comes up and something appears out of the blue and we can get it together, then great. I have considered maybe reaching out to other musical comedians because there's a lot of good ones out there, putting on some sort of show like that. But again, it's all very early days for stuff like that.
So we are starting to come up on time, so we'll round off by asking like the question that I always ask my guests when they come on this show because it is a mental health show. If you could give one piece of advice to anybody struggling with mental health issues at this point in time, what would that piece of advice be and why?
I would advise, and it's very much the old kind of cliche. It's good to talk. Make sure you talk to people, whether that be friends, family. Sometimes it's easier to talk to strangers, not strangers as such, but people you maybe not know as well as friends and family. That's what's been very good about Ultra, and I think our group especially are people. We're all very different, but we're all very much a group of people that we can bounce ideas off and just general feelings, and we can just vent a little bit
Mm,
and make sure you're talking to people and just getting it out there. Sometimes we don't even need answers. Sometimes we just need to get it out, and it definitely makes a big difference. Just to say what you're feeling, talk to people, get involved with things, get involved with groups if you can, but talking is so important. I spent a lot of time, especially with my dad and like grandparents and stuff that had passed away. It's mostly bereavement I've dealt with in my life
mm,
that is I think's been the source of most of my mental health kind of issues. And I've probably not dealt with them in the best ways. I spent a lot of time in my 20s drinking. Um, and looking back at it now that I don't do that, I think I was doing it just so that I didn't have to kind of deal with those issues. Get talking to people. Make sure you're getting your feelings out there. Make sure you're, yeah, getting involved with. There's so much support out there, like like the Andy's Man Club, and there's loads of places out there for everyone. Um, so just try and take that step and get it out there because it does help. And there's no doesn't matter if it's 10 years down the line or 20 years down the line or just get it out there. And it's the first step to just freeing up your mind a little bit, and making sure you've got a bit of space in your head, and just taking that step to kind of getting yourself on a better road, I guess.
I know you said it's a cliche, but it's the reason it's a cliche is because it works.
Yeah, that's it. It's it.
Talking does work. What
Aye,
the hardest part is just getting those first words out.
aye.
And I still struggle with that. Like, even though I
Oh,
come on
aye,
and try and preach it, what sometimes you can't practice it. Sometimes
aye.
maybe it just doesn't feel like it's there yet. But
Yeah.
you also got to know that's okay.
Oh, aye,
Well,
100%. You know, the brain's a very, and the mind, it's a very strange beast that we may never understand fully.
mm,
Like you say, it's a cliche because it works, and people say it because it works, and people tell you to do it because it works, and it really does. And just to help you, uh, just freeing up space. You know what it's like. Sometimes your head just gets so fogged up
mm,
with even nothing. You know, there might not be anything in particular in your head, but it feels like there's everything in there. So just freeing up that little bit of space can just help you kind of see through it a little bit, give yourself some things to focus on. Having the comedy and the music and like the group that we've got for doing comedy, our little kind of group chat stuff and things has been great, absolutely unbelievably great for just having something to kind of dip in and out of and focus on, and just free up a bit of space in your mind. You can go on and invent stuff. Um, yeah, it's just getting out there. Like you say, it's hard. It's it's not easy.
mm,
It's these things. I guess that makes it more rewarding when you feel the benefit of it. If you can get that out there and just talk, then um, you will feel the difference, and hopefully it'll kind of help put people on the right track to where they want to be.
yeah, definitely. But before we do head off, Scott, I just want to say, like, I am so bloody proud of you, man. Like,
Thank you, mate.
what it's what, and I know like people come on like the show and sometimes like they don't find it easy to talk about stuff. That's why I do this
No,
type of thing. So we can talk about things. I want to find out about people's journeys, like what got them to where they are, and what your story is really inspiring, man. It really
thank you, mate.
is.
I appreciate that.
And there's more to come into you. There's more in the tank. And the one thing that I'll say for you, I know I'm shite at following the advice, but I'm good at giving it. Well, don't stop doing what you're doing.
No.
Go and do like your comedy. If you want to do like your shows, like your musical shows, you'd have an army of people that would want to support you,
Mhm.
myself included.
Oh yeah.
And just keep being the awesome guy that you are.
Thank you, mate. I really appreciate everything. You've been unbelievable at giving advice. You're always there. You keep doing what you're doing, mate, because it really does make a difference. All these wee things is making a huge difference to people, So it's really appreciated. Thank you again for having me on. And yeah, I will be asking you for help and advice if any shows will be getting put forward.
Don't
Uh,
worry.
that is guaranteed that everyone in the group will be getting dragged in, kicking and screaming if need be. But that's the beauty of having the support round about you.
Yep. Yes, indeed. Well, everybody, until next time, I've been Andrew Durnan. This has been amazing Scott Morrison. And until next time, take care. Stay safe.
You too. Take care, guys.
Bye bye.